family of Matome Malesa, who's an SANDF soldier from Phalaborwa, is still reeling following his sudden death. The news of his passing came as a devastating blow, with Malesela said to be leaving behind his wife and 3 children. The fallen soldier, who hails from the small village of Mashishimale in Phalaborwa, was part of the SANDF contingent that was deployed to the DRC as part of a peacekeeping mission. SABC News reporter Katlego Nyoni is with the grieving family and joins us now live. And Katlego, this is certainly a family's worst nightmare.
And certainly there are no better words to explain it. Indeed, a family's worst nightmare, along with 12 other families in the country who have lost loved ones in that conflict area of Goma in the DRC. Some of the words that Matome Justice Malesa used to describe him is family-oriented, supportive, dedicated to his work, kind, loving, and of course he was the breadwinner of this family. At the age of 43-year-old, Matome Justice his birthday next month on the 25th of February. He was meant to turn 44 years old. He met his death at the DRC along with 12 other South African National Defense Force soldiers. And we are here today at Mashishimale village in Phalaborwa, where the family, as you can see behind me, they're of course in a state of mourning. They are still reeling in shock following the announcement and of the death of their loved one. Let me bring in his brother as well as family spokesperson, that's Matome Malesa. Thank you very much for your time on the SABC News channel. Obviously quite devastating for the family. Take me back to the moment when the news was delivered to you. You were telling me that you received the news recently. Talk to me about that moment and how, the sort of impact that it had on the family.
Oh, thanks very much, Katlego. Since years, we were never expecting this kind of news to receive, but as it happens like that, yes. We received the news on Saturday, late around 9 p.m. We were so very sad and much disappointed because these guys have been gone for long. So we were expecting him next month, February, since they have left in January 2024. But unfortunately, the situation didn't favor us. But apparently, we are so very, very sad as a family.
And our condolences once more. Talk to me about speak to me about the last conversation that you remember having with Mr. Malesa, the late Mr. Malesa, who was a corporal, by the way. Do you remember the last conversation you shared with him?
Yes, Katlego. We used to communicate maybe each and every 3 days since he was been away, and the signal as well in DRC was not even favor for us. But normally we were communicating time and again. So we were hoping that since ever he told me that it's just a moment of time that he will be back home. So what we were communicating mostly, it was the situation that is happening there, because it was not for his first time to deploy. So he was just sharing with us the difficulties and differences with some other experiences that he had on the previous deployment. So unfortunately, he didn't make it this time.
We're sorry to hear that, and of course, like you're saying, he was explaining the difficulties that they were experiencing. There are also other families around the country that have lost their loved ones. They are breadwinners. We know that the Limpopo province, there are 4, but throughout the country there are others. You know, what sort of message of support would you like to share to those families?
Yeah, what I can say to the mourning families as well is I want to pass my condolences sincerely so, because at this difficult time we really understand the pain that they are going through, as we are going through the same pain. So can just say to them, they just have to hang in there and be strong for this kind of situation, even though it's not very much easy and simple. But because this is the God's will, it's not the situation that somebody individual can control it. Unfortunately, we have to go through this situation. We know that it's very much painful, especially for the kids and the wives or the husbands of the deceased ones. But it's the situation. What we have to do is to accept and move on. So I say condolences to each and every family that is going through these difficult times, South Africa as a whole.
And the bodies have to be then repatriated back to South Africa. Has there been any form of communication with you as a family from the SANDF?
Yes, the SANDF visited us on Monday to update us regarding the bodies. So what they've mentioned to us is that the situation is still difficult in DRC Goma. The roads are still closed, so we have to be patient a bit with them so that they assess the situation. So up until things becoming better, then they will also come back to us and update if things are becoming better so that we can also prepare to welcome our fellow brothers and sisters.
Dr. Munyala, thank you very much for your time. And if you can hear Mr. Munyala there, who speaks on behalf of Justice Matome Malesa's family at Mashishimale, indicating that the SANDF officials paid them a visit to provide an update regarding the situation there in Goma, mentioning that the environment, the situation is still quite challenging and difficult, saying they will provide further information to them. But obviously, the family here, Ayanda, are still reeling in shock and devastation, along with 12 others for the Limpopo province. These are 4 families. We have Sebati Chokwe from Moleji outside Polokwane. We have Louis Muahi from Khatsikoro. We also have, who's 28 years old, Louis Muahi. We also have Derek Maluleke from Tlaniki village outside Guyana. That's 36-year-old Derek Maluleke, who perished along South African National Defense Force soldiers at Goma in the DRC. Ayanda.
Really tragic set of circumstances. Katlego Nyoni, live to us there from Phalaborwa, speaking to the Malesa family. For now, Katlego, thanks very much indeed. In fact, we'll keep watching, of course, the different moving parts around the conflict in the DRC. You might have spotted a post on X by Julius Malema. He, of course, is the leader of the EFF. He says in part that the portfolio committee meeting that was planned for today in Parliament has been postponed because the Minister of Defense chose not to appear. Those are his words. He says, we cannot stand by and be complicit in the situation. We must take a stand and demand the immediate withdrawal of our soldiers in the DRC. We'll get a sense of how all this unfolds. In fact, I'm told there will be word from the EFF in Parliament in the next hour.